trouble, 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 trouble. You know I might get in trouble. You know I might get in trouble. Trouble, 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 trouble. Yeah, I may get in trouble with this. Yeah, I might hit the button with this. T.Cooke and Briaunna, Monet, yeah, you know how we coming with this. Heat it up like the summer with this. They tryna kick it, wanna punt it with us. Yeah, they say it's something in the water, so I went out and flooded on my wrist. She said she buy, I said pull up. She said hi, I said hola. She wanna vibe, I told her pull up. I said roll up, I'm like hold up. She said she buy, I said pull up. She said hi, I said hola. She wanna vibe, I told her pull up. I said roll up. I'm like, yeah, I may get in trouble with this. Yeah, I might hit the button with this. T.Cooke and Briaunna, Monet, yeah, you know how we coming with this. Heat it up like the summer with this. They tryna kick it, wanna punt it with us. Yeah, they say it's something in the water, so I went out and flooded on my wrist. Good trouble like John Lewis. On the daily like John Stewart. With this rap,
some slight.
Hey,
you know. Welcome to another episode of I May Get in Trouble for This. It's your boy T.Cooke. I got a special guest in the building, my man Keith Wavy.
Yo.
All the way from the ATL.
You know it. You see it.
You know, appreciate you pulling up on me, brother.
For sure.
You already know, man.
Let's do it.
Hey, yo, tell the people, man, what you been up to, man, with the projects and the recording and the concerts, how it's been in Atlanta, man.
Man, it's been great. You know what I'm saying? I can't even front. Like, it's been a surreal experience just from like Player Noise to now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And the sound that me and Solo have been able to craft is really unique. So,
yeah.
You know, it's been getting a lot of good looks lately.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the music is just flowing right now. So I'm just I'm just striking while the iron is hot, you know.
That's what it is. That's what it is. So just touch on like your maturation as an artist. Like, what part do you feel like Atlanta has played when you took that transition and you moved to Atlanta? What part has that played in your artistry?
I think it made me freer in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like because when we were here, you know what I'm saying, you tend to get comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, because you're surrounded by your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like the whole 7-5 is our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And so from being in Atlanta, I think Atlanta caused me to find the sound that was home for me.
Okay.
Because I was already coming from a whole different perspective.
Yeah.
We all know Atlanta music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I knew I couldn't do that because I'm not homegrown Atlanta.
Yeah.
But it gave me a unique opportunity to find what was home for me. Okay. And I think that's what caused, you know, the maturity in the sound, the like confidence in the sound, like even in my delivery.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel a lot more confident. So.
Yeah, your vibrato, it comes through, you know what I'm saying, in the music.
Yeah.
So tell people who may not, you know, be familiar with, you know, how you made the transition from Jar L to Keith Wavy. Kind of give them the background on that whole process for real.
Yeah, so with when I moved to Atlanta and I was still going by Jar L and I was still making the same music, I don't feel like it was connecting.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And you had heard the music I was making like when I first moved down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think what happened was I knew I wanted to go in another direction, but I knew I needed a rebrand.
Okay.
I knew I couldn't be who I was. And so with incorporating the singing, like, you know, like the Keith Sweat, like, so that's where like Keith Wavy, like, you know what I'm saying? And so then that's where that kind of came in at. But yeah, so I think just like going back to the first point, I think just wanting to get to what's home for me.
Yeah.
And that's what created. And so Keith Wavy is the birth of, in reality, who I always wanted to be, but I didn't have the confidence or maybe the right beats or production or whatever, engineer. You know what I'm saying? And so I think this is just who I am. I'm just making who I am. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
That's what it is, man. Yeah. So no, I think creatively we seen glimpses early on of Keith Wavy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we was talking about it this week on Twitter.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, you'll hear glimpses of early Keith Wavy on 5 Joints.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know, sure.
And I could always hear like a natural kind of. I knew you had the ability to sing, you know, on the records. But like you said, I don't think the confidence was 100% there yet.
Definitely not.
But I was like, I always heard a melody in your voice, and so that's why I would like write stuff to put you out your comfort zone.
Oh yeah,
you know, like the hook for "Oh Yeah." Like a lot of people don't know. Like I hope they try to come and see this. A lot of people don't know. Like kind of the structure of the hook for "Oh Yeah" is low key an interpolation of a Kirk Franklin song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like on the lowest of keys. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when I never forget when we made that song, "Oh Yeah," this had to be 2014, I think it was.
Yep.
And I was a freshman. I was in my first year of grad school. And so we was big on that Wiz Khalifa song.
Oh yeah,
with Ty Dolla $ign. You and your friends.
Yeah, that's what I
was like, yo, we gotta
yeah.
make something that sounds like this. So you sent me the beat for "Oh Yeah," and you sent it to me when I was in class, and I was taking classes at ODU from 7 to 10 o'clock at night, 3 times a week. So when I got out of class, I never forget, dog. I listened to the beat in my car driving through the HRBT, and that's when God gave me the hook for that song, and I had to do a voice memo for it. 'Cause I was like, if I don't do it, I'm gonna lose it.
Right.
And I sent you the voice memo. I was like, yo, I'm writing this, but I want you to sing it because your voice is strong enough to sing it. So we was at Radio Ready with Keno. Shout out Keno.
Yeah, for sure.
He doing his thing.
Yeah.
And so Keno put a little bit of the auto tune on your vocals,
Man.
and it was up since then. You know what I'm saying?
So to the races.
But so I seen glimpses, and then I remember when we would record, like when we did Bending Corners, the original, the OG, and then we did part 2.
Yep.
And I always heard like a down south, like a southern drawl as well in just your delivery. And I don't know if you remember me telling you, but I was like, bro, embrace that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
When we was recording Bending Corners, the first one, I think we was in the district out ODU.
Yep.
And we was out there, and you was like, yo, should I say it like this, or should I say it like this? And I was like, bro, say it like that, because that's what makes you different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't ever tone down, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we got family from Carolina, the Carolina, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So I'm like, bro, don't. And then, you know, we was big on crit at that time, too. So I was like, yo, bro, say it like Bennett Corner, switch a lane. Now, you know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying? I was like, bro, that's what's going to make you different.
No,
so,
definitely.
just talk about, man, just like, you know, I know you've been putting out consistent projects over the past few years. Talk about, like, you know, some of the the mentality that you had to be in to be consistent. I don't think people give you your credit and your flowers for being as consistent as you have been. At least every 3 or 4 months, we can look forward to another Keith Wavy project. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So, like, just talk about what you had to tap into to, you know, be great and be consistent.
I think I thought a lot about, like, I've been listening to this guy. His name is David Goggins.
Okay.
And he's like an ex-Navy SEAL.
Okay.
And one of his main things in being great is, you know, to be great, you must be uncommon amongst uncommon people.
Okay.
You know, and so for me, I started to really tap into what that meant.
Okay.
And realistically, you know, I thought about it like this. Like, there's 400 players in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? They're considered the best athletes in the world. And then of that 400, we have the top 10 or 15 that we talk about all the time. Like, we got the LeBrons, the ADs, the Giannis's.
Yeah.
And so when I got into the science of what made them great, right, you see that constant repetition. They're constantly in the gym. They're constantly working out. They're constantly finding little pieces to their game to tweak. And I think that's the piece that made me consistent. Because instead of, like, for instance, instead of going out, I would be like, yo, Solo, let's work on this. And then that was the other piece, right? Because you got to have somebody that's on the same wavelength.
For sure.
And Solo is on that wavelength 1,000%. And then I got a good support system, like, you know, between y'all and my wife. And I got my homegirl, G, that G will get in my ass. Like, she keeps me accountable. Like, just like right now, she like, yo, you doing a podcast? Like, yo, with who? Are they recording? What time is it dropping? Like, she wants that. You know what I'm saying? And so that has really, because I got so many people holding me accountable, and then thinking about David Goggins' concept of just being uncommon. What makes me uncommon is the fact that I'm gonna go to the studio when you're not going.
Yeah.
When other rappers are like celebrating, or I just put out this tape,
Yeah.
I'm gonna celebrate this. I'm like, yeah, that was cool, but
Get back to work.
yeah, wait till you see what I got in like 2 months.
Yeah,
Because I'm constantly listening to beats. So I'm like,
Yeah.
as soon as I finish the tape, I'm like, oh yeah, that was cool, but wait till what you get next.
No,
yeah.
that's real talk. And I feel like, just the want and the hunger to always get better. I think that's what pushes you and any artist to reach that next pinnacle. You look at people like I remember watching a documentary, I think it was on MTV, about Drake years ago, and he was saying that this was already platinum selling Drake, and he still takes vocal lessons. Or you look at someone like a Denzel Washington who still takes acting lessons. So you never can get too comfortable with your skill set. You always gotta, like Cole said, the off season. You always gotta, keep putting in work to reach that next level. So I'm glad that you do that. I'm gonna take a side note and shout out 2 people who I've never met, but I've heard good things about them.
Okay.
You said your homegirl G.
Yeah.
Shout out G, because I never met her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
1,000.
I appreciate her for putting that battery in your back.
Oh, yeah.
Keep, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Keep
yeah.
going. And shout out Solo on the boards, man.
Oh,
I never
yeah.
met you, but we going to tap in sooner than later. I'm going to have to take a trip to ATL.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We going to have to lock in, because, he definitely be having your vocals crispy. So I think a artist is only as good as his engineer. And I think, engineers don't get a lot of credit.
No,
we
definitely.
done had our fair share of engineers over the year.
Yeah.
Shout out Keno,
Right.
G White, Solo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think they really do allow us to take our music to the next level. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Yeah, because like that's why I try to make it a point to let people know, like, just as much as you like the sound, Solo is just as integral to my sound as like I am. Like, I can come with the material or the content or the idea, and then that's the great thing about Solo too, because Solo is just like G. Like, we be in the booth, I'll be recording, and then Solo be like, "Nah, bro, stop, bro.
Yeah,
bro, that's not it."
Yeah.
He's like, you even with the singing.
Yeah.
He's like, "Nah, bro, stop, bro. That's not the right key, bro."
Yeah.
And like sometimes he'll tell me like, "Bro, like step out of the booth for a second.
Yeah.
Collect yourself, and then go back in." Like, just like we was in there the other day, I was like rushing because I had like a wild day, so I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
And before I go in the booth, Solo was like, "Bro, calm down, because this beat is
you
real
antsy,
chill." Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah.
like, "This beat is real chill." So he like, "Bro, calm down, get into Keith Wavy, and then go in."
Yeah.
And so I think that's the, like you said, like about engineers not getting their credit, because it's like without Solo, I don't really think you get Keith Wavy at this level.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
No, I can agree with that, and I say the same with G White.
Right,
Like, I've known G for probably a decade now, and you do have to have an engineer that's not a yes man.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because when you on BS, they'll call you out on it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And they not just there for a paycheck. They there to put the best product out. So, you know what I'm saying? I think as integral as Solo is to your sound, G is to my sound, probably the same with 40 and Drake. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Or like Blessed with Mel, like, you know what I'm saying? It's the same,
facts,
same energy.
Shout out him too. Same thing with like probably Mustard and YG.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
He's not an engineer, but he's a producer.
Right.
So
he that guy for him. Yeah.
For sure. So let us know, because you've been putting out so many different tapes. So I just kind of want to go through the different tapes and just like I'll maybe call off a song on that tape that maybe be my favorite.
Okay,
and
sure.
you just tell the people like what kind of went into your mentality when you created the song.
Okay, for sure.
All right, so we're gonna start with Player Noise, because I feel like that was kind of like
that's the beginning.
That's where Keith Wavy kind of was like
the beginning. Yeah, that's the origin story.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so. All right, well, I'm actually on the tape, if y'all didn't know. I'm on track number 4. It's called Over With.
Yes, sir.
So what made you come up with that concept, and then a step further, what made you be like, yo, I can hear Cook on this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so the concept of Over With, actually, because I feel like we both do the same thing where like we pull from our life, but we do it in like slightly different ways. And so realistically, I'm going to keep it a buck. Like, the concept from Player Noise came because it was one day where me, my homeboy Cam in Atlanta. He from he originally from Carson, California, and then my homeboy Dame. That's why I be referencing in my song when I say Hall of Fame.
Okay,
they both went to Grambling, so it's like Hall of Fame Dame. So so shout out to them, because with them two they integral too in a different way. And realistically, like when I said Midtown Traffic Lounge on a Friday, like that's what really sparked it, because it's like we had like this long day one Friday, like, and we just bouncing around from different spots in Atlanta, and then we end up at this place called Traffic Lounge in Atlanta, super cool. And we just, in there catching a vibe. And when I'm in there, it's like, because at the time I just had the beat for Over With, but I didn't know what I was going to put on it. And it just hit me, and I was like, yo, this is going to be the origin for Over With. Okay. And then, like, shout out to my boy Hall of Fame, because Hall of Fame had, like, the bags so shorties in there. So that, like, I got the concept, like, if you pull up with your click, then it's over with. Because I know, like, Dame's like a shark in the water when it comes to that. So so I'm like, yeah, and I'm watching. I'm like, yeah, if we pull up with that click, then it's over with. And I did, and then I started crafting a verse around just that day, because that day was just such a. That's why I was like, woke up to a vibe. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
woke up to a vibe. Now catching plays.
Making plays,
like,
right? And that's because that day was just like. It's like move, and we just bouncing around. And So we have a lot of days like that in the city, and that's what helped inspire a lot of the music. So and then so when I heard the beat, I'm like, yeah, Cook gonna kill this. I gotta
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Once I put the content on there, and I'm like, I'm listening to it. And Solo like, yeah, you like it. And I told Solo, I was like, yo, so I was like, who you gonna get for the feature? I was like, I'm gonna get my boy Cook. He's like, that's him. That's gonna be hard.
I appreciate that, dog, because you throw so many lives my way, man, and it's just like, sometimes I be experiencing writer's block, but when it flow, it just flow, and it's just like you just paint the perfect picture, and I'm like, all right, bro, this is a slam dunk. Like, I think it's been times where I've sent you records, and like Monopoly Money being one of them specifically in 2015, where that was a high energy record, and it's not a lot of artists that you can get on a record that will not only match your level but take the track up a notch. And it's like when I had Monopoly Money, and I was so, like, just background on that, I was so, like, I had the hook for Monopoly Money in my head for at least 6 months. Before I could find the beat,
the right beat
to go with it. Sometimes I'll get the beat and then a concept will come, or sometimes I'll have a concept and I'm just waiting for the right beat to paint the picture on. So when I heard that beat and I spit the hook that I had in my head to it, I knew it was God, because at that time I would spend hours on end going through the cracks and crevices of SoundCloud. Looking for unfound producers and, unknown producers to try to, I was at that time, I would listen to probably 30, 40 beats a day.
Facts.
Like, what I'm saying? That. And so when I found that one, I said, okay, yo, Jar-El at the time, you know what I'm saying? He gonna be able to not only match my delivery, but take the track up a notch. And I feel like, like, people don't know, because I never talked about this on record, but when you got on the record and you killed it, because I think you wrote your verse in Atlanta, but then you actually came to Virginia to lay it with G.
Yeah, I came back.
Yeah, you came back
because I didn't have no studio. Me and Solo didn't know each other at that time.
Yeah, and you because when you first went to Atlanta, you was trying to find the right engineer for you.
Absolute. Yeah.
So it was like trial and error for a little bit.
It was a lot of trial and error. Like, and the way me and Solo had linked was so crazy, because. So it's this spot called like Paperboy Studio in Little 5 Points, and it's actually not even open no more. So this how, like you say, I knew this was just like God. Yeah, and this was like putting us together, because I used to do shows there all the time, and then that's how I met like my homeboy Modern Day Stoner, and Solo used to perform there all the time, but he was also an engineer, and I remember a couple of times like. The times that me and Solo would exchange before we really got to know each other, he'd be like, yo, bro, come record with me, like, da-da-da. But I was trying to work with this guy up on the north side, like, recording music, but I knew it wasn't working. Yeah. So what ends up happening is they have a show, they end up giving me, like, free 2 hours of studio time. Okay. And the studio gave me, because I was, on a consistent basis really coming through with it, and it was like, and then Solo was my session.
Okay.
And it was just like, boom. That's just it.
It
was like instant. Like when I started recording with Solo, I said, this
is what I've been missing.
Right. This is what I've been missing, because it's just what you said. Like a lot of engineers just want the payday.
Yeah.
But Solo cares about the craft. Because he is a rapper himself, he cares about every minute detail. As we're going through the music, he'll just be like, nah, bro. Like, because he do something that no other engineer did. And this how I know it was different. We recording, and then Solo will be like, yo, I don't like this ad lib, bro. Can I take this out?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, you need like a drop right here. Can I drop the beat out right here? Like, and that's why I was like, oh yeah, he cared about what he's actually working on.
Yeah.
And that was, like you said, that was like, oh yeah, this is the piece that's missing. And it was almost instant, because since I got that free 2-hour session with him, me and Solo never lost contact. I was like, yeah, this is the only person I'm recording with from here on go. Unless I come back and work with Bless, so like with G. But other than that, if I'm in Atlanta, and if I go anywhere other than Virginia and trying to record, I'm bringing Solo with me.
No, that's real. Yeah. When I send the vocals off, when I send I'll lay it with G, or shout out my other engineer, Abe. I'll lay it with them, but when I send it to you, and I know you and Solo gonna make the final mixes, and I don't even worry about it, because I know he gonna take care of my vocals if I was there.
I'm telling you,
I ain't gotta worry about T.Cooke being off beat. I ain't gotta worry about, you know what I'm saying? I know y'all gonna sit in and do me right. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so that's just a comfort that you don't have with every engineer. But so I just I really appreciate that. So yeah, I didn't forgot. We was talking about Monopoly money, right?
Yeah, we were talking about Monopoly money.
Okay, so like certain things is just divine. Like I just feel like when they line up, it's just like it's God. If you don't believe in a higher power, it's like, bro, it's just certain things work too perfectly. And it was just so crazy, because when you came back, you laid the verse, and then I told you, I'm like, yo, I'm working on a music video. It's gonna be crazy. Just trust me.
Fact.
And one thing about it is, everybody knows, like, when it comes to T.Cooke and visuals, like, as passionate as other artists are about the music, I'm 10 times more passionate about
the visuals. Absolutely.
Like,
visionary genius.
I appreciate that. I only make music to make music videos and short films. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only reason I even make music. But
Facts.
so when we made Monopoly money, I already had the concept of the video in my head. So I remember you coming down from Atlanta, making that drive, and then we shot the video, and shout out my boys. It's just like, that's how I know God has a plan, and he has his hand in my life, because I don't even know if I ever told you, but like, I'm sure you kind of know, but like, at the time when we was working on, so you had came down, you laid your verse for Monopoly money. And then I was doing a 3-month internship, a summer internship at ODU Film Department. And I met the guys that still shoot all of my stuff. Shout out Victor Collins, Steven Crocker, Nick Crawford. That's kind of my visual team. And I met them there, and literally they came to me one day. They said, they called me by my government name. I ain't gonna give it on the podcast, but they called me by my government name. They said, "You do music?" He's like, yo, I'm like, yeah. They're like, yo, we heard, and we had 5 joints out at the time. And they said, yo, we heard 5 joints on SoundCloud. Like, yo, you need to let us shoot a music video for you. And I'm like, okay. Like, I'm like, cause I'm doing this internship to get in my career bag. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not looking for, a come up and try to, you know what I'm saying? So these guys, they gravitated to me, and they said, yo, let us shoot a music video. And at the time, I knew I was working on 6 Rings. And so I said, okay, I got a concept. Yo, let's. So I never forget, we all met at the Taco Bell on ODU campus. We was on a lunch break from my internship. We went to Taco Bell, and we kind of got everything organized. And I was like, okay, this is gonna work. And then I told you came down from Atlanta, we shot it. And people don't know, like, to this day, I love Monopoly money music video, but I had to pull my video guys off to the side, and I said, if y'all ever in y'all lives shoot another T.Cooke video and y'all let the featured artist steal the video, y'all are fire expeditiously. Expeditiously. Bro, when I
you
tell
talking about the board flip?
Bro, this man, Keith Wavy, Jar-L at the time, came through. They gave him better shots than me. Y'all go to YouTube right now, type in T.Cooke, Monopoly Money. They gave Jar-L, Keith Wavy, they gave him better shots than me, better angles, better lighting, and he got to flip the board. I said, this man that stole my video from me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I said, yo, don't y'all ever do that no more in y'all lives. But yeah, man, it was just a vibe, and that was actually their first music video that they ever shot. And so, yeah, I had confidence and faith in them, and then just to see what they've been able to accomplish.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like a lot of people don't even know, like, they getting a lot of local artists in this area, they getting music videos done by like some like people who are part of my integral part of my creative process. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Okay,
it's like, like Kanye say, like, yo, y'all like Virgil, but Virgil was in my team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all like
Virgil was with me.
Yeah, y'all like Don C.
For sure.
Y'all like the Don C's, but Don C was part of my creative. He's part of Donda. They're Donda.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
I consider Victor, Steven, Nick, I consider them, they're part of in-house. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because like anything I do, like whether it's getting the documentary edited, whether it's shooting the documentary, whether it's name drop, they are an integral process, an integral player of my creativity. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate all of them. But so you already explained the process of Over With and how that came about. So, you know, let's get into something most though. And I want to hit on this too, because this is another one, you know, when you go to Apple Music and then they got the songs and then they got the song that got the star next to it, which clearly means it's a fan favorite.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, on the same project, Player Noise, let's talk about the Slide remix. Kind of bring people into that studio session and what made you get MDS and what made you get Billy Vetti on there.
That session was like, first of all, that was the most people I ever had on one session. Like, because usually it's always just me and Solo, or at most it's me, Solo, and G. Like, that's the maximum. And I called him out to do the feature, and then, like, wildly enough, I was supposed to go out with my friends right after, and they was like, "Are you out already?" And I was like, I mean, I am, but I'm not out. I'm at the studio. I got my guys coming through the later remix, and at the time, me and Stoner had only had, I think, one record together. Okay. And I had just recently met Billy. Shout out Billy Vetti.
Shout out him.
Yeah. And so me and Billy didn't have nothing yet. But we was like, we need to get something done. And so I was like, all right, bet. Well, I'm going to do the remix. Let's just tap Atlanta for the remix. Yeah. Like, so I got them too, found the beat, and then so going back to my first one, like, I was supposed to go out with my friends. They're like, yo, are you out? And I'm like, yeah, I'm at the studio. They like, all right, well, we're coming to the studio. That's going to be the beginning of the night. And I'm like, okay. So the G pulled up, my other homegirl Sierra pulled up, and then my homegirl Tamaya pulled up. And they just pulled, and the energy was just so crazy because you got them in the studio. You got like my team in the studio. Then you got Billy and Stoner in the studio. Then you got Solo in the studio. That's the only song we working on that day. We have a couple drinks in the studio, so it's like the energy. The energy was just flowing, and I think that's what really made that song come together to be what it was. Because I don't think if all of us wasn't in there together at that time, I don't think it would have turned out like that. Because even when everybody had walked out, and I'm talking to Solo, and I'm getting the files from the session. Solo was like, yo, bro, that studio session was crazy. It's like, I could feel the energy. Like, the energy was so crazy in here. He was like, we need that more often. Like, we need to bring that in. And that's really how the remix came about. Like, and then it just worked from top to bottom. And then Solo came up with the idea to flip the beat backwards on Modern Day Stoner's verse. And then bring it back. And it was just crazy. Bro. Yeah, it was just creative. Like you said, sometimes some things are just God. And I just felt like God was working for us in that session, man. We just
talk about it.
Yeah,
man.
I couldn't have scripted it any better. Yeah, in my mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it was one time. It was like last summer. I was headed to the oceanfront with two of my homegirls, and we was like, it's from where I stay. It's probably about 45 minutes to an hour to get to the oceanfront. Okay, and like, the Bluetooth was hooked up to the car, and I heard Slide Remix come on.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, yo, I'm not DJing right now. So,
So
how is like who's playing this? Like this you know this? I'm like, yo, you know Keith Wavy? It's like, yo, you know Keith Wavy? Like it's like, yeah, like I'm hip to this. Like this my shit. And I'm like, how you know this? Like,
right,
you know what I'm saying?
Where did that come from?
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, and so I was just like, dang. So it was a crazy look, but let's talk. What also threw me off. Speaking of things that threw me off, y'all boys think y'all slick.
What up?
You and that boy Mel. I literally wake up one morning, never forget. Wake up one morning and I get
this was Mel idea, by the way.
I get a text message and it says, "Oh, yo, the project is out." I said, hold on, I'm in the group chat. I'm like, what project? I don't know nothing about it.
Man.
He's like, yo, Peaches on a beach. I'm like, hold up, Peaches on a beach? What is this?
Yeah.
And then y'all just sent the Apple Music link, and I'm like, oh, so that's what we doing, dog? So we do.
I got an even funnier story.
Okay, go ahead. Let us know.
So, and it's funny because the same thing happened to you, the same thing happened to G, because we didn't tell nobody. Mm-hmm. And so my homegirl G getting ready for work, right? G getting ready for work, and then she said, like, she called me immediately, like, right while we texting you, and you like you said, like, oh, this what we doing? Like, and she's like, the same thing. She said, wow, so you just ain't gonna say nothing. And I was like, what you mean? And I'm playing it off, and she's like, yo, why am I upstairs getting ready, and I come downstairs, I'm getting ready for work, and I come downstairs, and my mom is like playing your song, and she's like, I ain't never heard that verse before.
Yeah. And
she's like, Mom, what you playing? Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, I'm playing your friend. I'm playing his new music. She's like,
what new music?
And instantly she like, oh, I'm hot. Cause like,
yeah,
what you mean? She's like, it's he. And she showed her, and she's like the same thing. She like, bruh, call me and let me have it. Cause she like, oh, so you just ain't gonna say that. Yeah, but it's the same thing. Yeah.
Man, I just was like taken aback, and then I get so I'm sitting here going crazy because I'm like, bro, literally, it's a whole project with you and Mel. Talk about kind of like what made y'all, because if people don't know, like on his projects, on your projects, y'all will tap in and y'all done put out some crazy songs in the summer. Y'all done put out Saturday. Y'all done put out some classic records. But what made y'all like, okay, we need to go ahead and just do a tape together?
You started it realistically because you know you used to always say like, yo, I feel like y'all will be fire together. And so from that, I remember me and Mel had been talking about it like all throughout 2020. Like we talking about it, like but we ain't doing nothing, right? Cause Mel did Selfish, and then when he rapped Selfish, I rapped Wave Y'all Want More, like right around the same time. And so I had an idea for a third take. I'll tell you I was doing 4. And then Mel hit me and was like, he said, yo, you want to do this? And I was like, what you mean? He was like, yo, let's do this joint take, let's knock it out. I said, okay, let's go. And Mel was like, he sent me then he told me I was originally supposed to be on Just Because. Because I was like, oh, that makes sense, because like some of your opening bars sound similar to like the content. So I'm like, he was like, yeah, because you was originally supposed to be on there. So that's how I started. And then he's like, I said, all right, well, let's do the remix. He said, all right, that's the first track. Then he sent me out the blue. Okay. And when I heard the beef out the blue, I instantly was like, oh yeah, that's that. And he said, all right, I got another one. You pick 2, and then let's go off to the races. Yeah. And then we literally started, and then 2.5 weeks later, the project was out. And we just like ran through it. Like it was just like, but this energy, like I said, it was just working. And then Solo and Bless, his engineer, it just happened like every file or track they sent just automatically was like syncing up. And it just went real fast. And then next thing you know, it was Beaches on the Beach.
It was crazy because I remember calling you, I think it might have been on a Saturday, and I think I was off, and you told me you was at the studio listening to beats, and I'm like, listening to beats? You pick your own beats before you get to the studio? Like, when you start listening to beats, I'm like, something is fishy here. Something's up. Something's awry. I don't know what it is. And so I was like, okay, well, and then come to find out y'all was, because I was like, yo, bro, didn't you just rap a project? You already back in the studio? And then you was working on Peaches on the Beach with Mel. So I'm just glad that y'all finally just locked in, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And got one in. So that's been crazy. So talk about kind of the creative process with behind Wavy I Want More. That album, because it's 7 songs.
Okay, right. Yeah. So Wavy I Want More was it's a direct. It's almost like I wouldn't say direct. It's more like an indirect sequel to Player Noise.
Okay.
Because some of the beats that I had did not necessarily make it on Player Noise.
Okay.
And so I had the beat for Where I Left Off, and then I think I had the beat for and then the Aaliyah, the My Way.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right. And I knew I wanted to do something around that tag that I had, like, Wavy, I want more. So it's perfect. This is going to be the name, but I didn't have it. And then I heard the beat for Cascade and Paid in Full. And then the rest just like filled itself out. It just went like, and then because the guy Hunger Force that produced Cascade produced a couple of other cuts on there and a couple of other cuts that I had on some other projects. And so I was like, okay, yeah, this is working. And then another guy named Foley Beats, I got a beat or two from him. And then I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, this synergy is working. Yeah. And then so I kind of crafted Wavy I Want More as like, if Player Noise is like the origin story, then Wavy I Want More was the coming out party. Like it's like, yeah. It's like, this is what you gonna get from me from here on out. And then that was the inspiration behind shooting the cover at the Fox. Cause it's like, this is opening night for Keith Wavy. Like this is, like I said, if you thought that was the origin, this is it. Like this is what you're gonna get. You're right.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. Okay. Yeah. So no, I rock with that, man. Like that's definitely one of my favorite projects as well. Cause I'm just pulling up your whole discography right now. Okay, so what about, let's get into, so we covered Peaches on the Beach, we covered Wavy I Want More, we covered Player Noise.
Yep.
Talk about the most recent project you put out in March Cruise Control.
So Cruise Control was like inspired by like realistically because I had just got the Camaro at the time. And I was like in the middle of doing Lane to Lane. That was the first. That Lane to Lane and Off the Coast was the first two songs I did, and like I just felt the vibe going to more like this is riding music. Like this is good riding music. And then I just like I said, I just got the Camaro, so I'm like, yeah, I want to like. I'm like, if I want something to ride to, they want something to ride to, and so then that's when the cover came around with like financially. I had to put the Queen on there with the fro, and then with the cityscape, and then the Camaro. It's like I'm always on her mind, like you know what I'm saying. And then that's where the Cruise Control. It's like she thinking about the last time she was with me, and so that's where the concept came from. And then I crafted the music just around that vision that I had, and so then that's how you get the Wishing. And then you get to Alkaline Water, and you know what I'm saying. That was my thing. So I'm like, yeah, I'm making this music. This is music to ride to, like you know what I'm saying. This is starting the race, and then the checkpoint is the middle, and then you're gonna get at the end. You're gonna get We Love Wavy at the finish line. So it's starting like That's why I said like everything I try to do because I'm a big like comic book nerd, so you already know that. But I try to just like an MCU thing. Like this thing is all of this is interconnected. That's why I make a lot of references to other songs in my newer songs. Yeah, because all of this is supposed to be one cohesive world. When you enter this is just some fly music. You just get in there and get stuck in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one thing about your music. Like whenever you come along and you get hip to Keith Wavy, you'll go and check all your other songs and all your other projects. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, yeah, that's what's up, man. So talk about kind of like some of the music that you're playing, personally, like in your day-to-day life with some artists that you tap in with that, do you think are dope right now?
Dope. Outside of us?
Outside of us, of course.
Oh, yeah. Outside of SB, so outside of our homies, nah. Like I said, from a Atlanta perspective, like my boy Modern Day Stoner for sure, Billy Vetti, Raw Hizzle Slim, shout out that boy Fresh Bueller, Curtis Dro in Atlanta, and then shout out that whole I don't know everybody's name in there, but shout out to Join Us, we love you too. They some cool, there's a cool little crew too, so I listen to them. And then like on the like kind of independent but mainstream side of things, it's J Word, D Larry June, Currency, Wiz, Primo Rice, G Perico. like just London Drugs. I know I'm gonna forget somebody, but I probably just keep remember Dom Kennedy. Like you know what I'm saying. So that's really what I'm outside of us. That's probably what I'm really listening to like every day. Yeah. Oh, and shout out my boy Don Isotola too. I'm listening to Don, that new Protect My Energy that's been in rotation too. So
that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. Now you covered a lot of ground right there.
Yeah. You got to try to get everybody.
Yeah, for sure. That's for sure. If we left anybody out,
right. Yeah, no disrespect. I ain't think about you at that time, like Spitter said, but you know what's up.
You know what it is.
Yeah.
So talk about, like, you mentioned it earlier though, but talk about like how pivotal it is and how important it is to kind of have like a support system behind you, like whether it be, you said your wife, whether it's your family, like talk about like how that has kind of played a part in you being able to keep doing what you've been doing for so long.
I think it's everything. I think without y'all and without them, I don't think I'm still here. Because when I think about what I do every day, like that's what's driving me. Cause like, you know, like what I do doesn't necessarily relate, you know, financially. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting my all into this. And it's like, but, you know, I think about what Nip said, you know, if you quit in the middle and you start over, like you got to start all the way again. Like you put yourself further back than where you at now. So you might as well, in the words of Larry, you might as well keep going. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Good job.
Nigga, good job, right? You might as well keep going. Like, you know, and that's what Nip said, you might as well keep going. And so I think about that conscious, like, man, if I quit and give up now, and I'm giving up all the momentum, all of the time, the blood, sweat, and tears, frustration, me and Solo just working tirelessly to get this sound to where it is. It's like, man, I just can't. I can't give it up.
Can't throw in the towel.
I can't throw it in. Not until like it's just not feasible no more. Like, you know, if I age out of it, you know what I'm saying?
That's one thing.
Right. But while I'm still in it, and I still feel like I can, you know, contribute. You know, like I said, I really think about life in terms of basketball, and I hear basketball players all the time. It's like, you know, if I feel like I don't got nothing left to contribute to the game, it's time to walk away. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or like Kobe said, when I meditate, my mind don't go to basketball. No, it's time to stop. Yeah. Like if I don't every day hear something, I get to a point where I don't hear no music no more. Or I don't feel that musical energy that's in me. If it goes away, then I know it's time to stop. But right now, while I got it, it's still brewing right now. So, and I feel like I've been able to just feed on that. Yeah. And that's what's pushing me.
Yeah, y'all boys keep me motivated too, man. I'll pop out every now and then with a verse, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, it's more so like, you know, I'll try to send stuff to y'all to keep y'all motivated because y'all keep me going, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think we just got to all keep each other uplifted. And, you know, because it do get hard when you invest in your time, your energy, your money, and you're not seeing a ROI immediately. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just, you know, it's too much time and effort that we have put in not to reap the benefits of what we've been doing. So we just got to keep going, man, keep running it up. So let's talk about, for people who may not know how we met or how we crossed paths, give people kind of insight of, you know, how we met and how we started making music together and just that whole kind of process.
Facts. So, like, you know, Kimla been telling me for a minute. We in school. We probably in like, it's probably junior year because been in corner 2012, right? It's junior year. So, and Kimla's like, yo, bro, I know you and Dolo doing y'all thing. He said, bro, but I got this guy that I know that work at the gym at Old Dominion. He said, bro, look, dude can rap. Like rap.
And a side note, I don't know where he heard me rap.
I don't know. I don't know.
I was retired at the time. Like I was done with music.
Man,
like,
it was
for the most part.
Yeah.
I just remember playing like a cipher that I had did with some of my homies, and I played it for Chuck and Kimline. But they hadn't really. They was like, yo, that's hard. But it didn't seem like it had hit. So I was like, well, maybe I'm trash. I don't know.
No, definitely not. Okay. No, that was far from it. And Kimline's like, he said, yo, like, dude can spit, bro, like really rap, like he on y'all level. And I was like, I bet. Like he's like, yeah, y'all gotta meet. And I remember it was just like certain situations where it just wasn't happening. Like we like overlapping or missing each other. And then I just remember us being at Chuck Probate, and then we like finally happens. Like, you know what I'm saying? It feels like back in the day when, like, you know, rappers linking up back in the day, meeting each other for the first time. And that's what it felt like. And then I just remember us chopping it up from there. And then, and like, even though, like, I don't know if I ever told you this, but like, even though I knew you was cool with the idea of us rapping together, I still felt like, it's like, yo, I got to prove it to him. It's like, yeah. It's like, if I'm gonna get him out of retirement, I gotta prove that this cause is worthwhile for him to put his energy back into it. Yeah. And then, like, when I heard you myself, I was like, nah, you can't quit either. You gotta come on. Like, we gotta go this together. Yeah. And then I originally came up with Bending Corners. And then Jordan was supposed to get on, my homegirl Jordan. Shout out Jordan. She in Atlanta too. And so then it just went, like, Jordan couldn't get to the studio. She's like, and then I remember she just told me one day, like, and you was in the studio with me. Yeah. And you was like,
I was just a fly on the wall. I was just there to support.
Right. Yeah. But in my mind, I'm still like, I gotta prove it to him. Like, this is for real. And so I'm like, and so when Jordan was like, yeah, it's not gonna happen. So I was like, all right, dang. So but then I just remember you being like, yo, play the beat again. And you played it, and you like
start mumbling.
You start mumbling, right? You start, and then you like, I got something for this. And I said, let's go. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then I think Bending Corners, IMF is just the beginning of this thing we got going now. That's just the beginning. And at least that's how that's from my perspective. Like, you know, I don't know, like, if Kimlock came that same, but that's how I got in.
Yeah. I would think that would sum it up, for the most part. I mean, I just, when I heard Bending Corners, I was just like, this don't really sound like nothing that I've heard. And, you know, I was like, yo, I just had even though I had stepped away from music, I had a hunger. I always gonna have a hunger and a passion for it.
Right.
And I was like, well, hey, this might be my opportunity to show people what I have, because, you know, Kimlock might have heard me, but the general masses hasn't. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, well, let me go ahead and show these people that I can really rap. You know what I'm saying? And I've always, you know, lyrics has always been the basis of anytime you get a T.Cooke verse, you know it's going to be some bars there. You know it's going to be a delivery there. Facts. And so it was just kind of brought me back to just having fun with the music again. Absolutely. And I always credit, like, y'all, like you, Dolo, for bringing me out my comfort zone, because if I hadn't came across y'all when we did, y'all wouldn't have never got nothing from T.Cooke solo, because I was in a group before. Right. So when that group kind of disbanded, it was like, yo, I'm not doing music no more. You know what I'm saying? So I met y'all, and y'all allowed me to tap into y'all energy. Then we started doing shows, selling out shows around ODU, and that just kind of got me comfortable with being an artist. And then ever since I put out Ignorant in 2013, it's just been up, you know what I'm saying? Facts. And so, you know, I remember, you know, along the process, like, we've never really, like, ever creatively bumped heads, because I always felt like, you know, like, we was like yin and yang on the track together.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I remember it was one time where we had put out Corleone, and I was like, bro, this is like so different. It don't sound like nothing in the streets right now. And I was like, yo, we was doing shows, and like everybody would turn up to Corleone. I was like, we gotta do a visual for it. You know what I'm saying? And I remember, like, when I was trying to get you on board to do the visual, like, I don't think you was really like effing with it for real. And I'm like, yo, bro, just trust me. Because just like how you told me, you was like, you had to prove to me. I had to prove to y'all that, like, yo, bro, when it comes to visuals, I really do this. Right, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, I know Rail don't like to put on no suit. I know he don't like to get suited and booted for real. But I'm like, yo, bro, I need all, because people don't know, when we did Corleone, my concept for that was black excellence.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right.
We shot that in December of 2013.
Facts.
Put it out New Year's Day of 2014. Facts. I was like, yo, I'm gonna show black excellence. I'm gonna show young black educated brothers where we don't gotta be on the corner selling that work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We can act like we got guns, we can act like we can have some sense, and we ain't got to be in the trap. It's a time and place for that. But I wanted to, you know, show something different. And so once I got everybody to buy into it, Mikey showed up, my barber Walt showed up.
Facts.
Shout out Wallace. You know what I'm saying? He was, you know, he let us use his establishment at the time that he was connected to. So it was just like everything came together, and I was just glad that y'all trusted me You know, I think that was me earning my stripes with y'all. Like, oh, Cooke really do this when it comes to the visuals. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. And I think Dolo bought in before I did. Like, really, because Dolo is like, let's go.
Yeah.
And the only apprehension that I had was because I remember we had that conversation where I had told you, like, yo, bro, I feel like I want to move on from trap.
Yeah.
Because at the time, that was the prevalent sound.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, looking back, it made 100% sense. I mean, 100% sense, because that video probably catapulted us to where we probably are now, in a sense. Like, because like you said, when you put that together, nobody had ever seen nothing like that. That was top tier, and it was all you, because you was just like, hey, bro, put this on, show up here.
Facts. And then I had pitched the concept to Kane.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we just made it happen. But it was just like, like early on in my career, just as a side note, like early on in my career, like I feel like I got flack for some reason because like people was like, oh, T.Cooke, he always got white girls in his videos.
Ah, yeah, right.
But that wasn't the thing though.
It
like,
wasn't.
First of all, my first video, I think she was like Pacific Islander. Like she was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shout out Kat. But the second video, it wasn't about having a white girl in the video. It was about, let's turn a trope on its head. Okay. You always have white people and you have black people waiting on them,
serving them. Right.
Let's have black people in positions of power.
Absolutely.
With white people waiting on us. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was about. But nobody wanted to. Nobody could see my vision. At it like that. You know what I'm saying?
They never looked at it.
It's like,
like
he like white girls. I mean, shout out to white girls. Ain't nothing wrong with them. You know what I'm saying?
No beef there.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just like they couldn't see my vision then. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They didn't see where you was going.
They didn't see where I was going with it. But I'm glad that y'all bought into it and allowed me to do my stuff. And that's where I really get off when it comes to what I'm passionate about. So a lot of times when I'm crafting stuff, like people be like, yo, Cooke, what Cooke doing? And when I get quiet, they know Cooke cooking up something in the kitchen. Right.
When he low, he coming up with something.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it takes a little bit more than just put a song out. Right. Like, I want to put a song out, a video, a rollout. It take a lot. Yeah. And when you independent and you putting up all the bread yourself, it's just me and my manager. You know what I'm saying? So it take a little bit more time to craft stuff, just like this show. You know what I'm saying? It take a little bit more, you know, to really curate something of quality. But it's like, one thing about Cooke, I'm gonna always do quality over quantity.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I say like you and Mel, I really think like if you had to kind of juxtapose or compare, you know, everybody in SB, I'd say like as far as the turnover ratio with music, I'm like, yo, you the hit maker. You like Future. Like you just run it up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think like Dolo is probably like a J Elect.
Yeah.
Andre 3K.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, he'll pop up when he want to.
And it's legendary when he pop up.
You know
right.
But when he have his glimpses, he'll show up on a Mel project. He'll show up on your project.
Yeah, for sure.
A killer feature. Then you have Mel. I think Mel is more like, a Cole, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like a Cole, or like, I don't even know who I can really, you know.
Yeah. Mel to me is like Cole Drake hybrid to me.
Yeah. Okay. I can see both of those.
Because Mel, like, I feel like this is prevalent more so with you or Mel. Like, the storytelling is always there. Like, I feel like when I listen to y'all music, it's always something that you need to be paying attention to, because it's not just putting words on beat. It's like there's something behind that you need to be paying attention to.
Substance.
Right. Yeah. But with Mel though, Mel got them in your face lines though. That's the thing. Like Mel, when Mel raps sometimes, it's like, I know people be like, yo, I don't even want to listen no more, because I feel like he talking to me. Like,
Mel be wigging, bro.
I'm telling you.
He got them one-liners that make you rearrange and assess your whole life.
Like, man. And he talk about so many real topics. Like, and I'll say this now because it's me and you. And I don't know if I ever told Mel this, but it's like when he made that song Real Parents. Like,
sheesh.
Like, Mel, if you out there right now, bro, I'm going to tell you, keep it a buck. Yo, when I heard Real Parents, I cried, bro. It really touched my spirit in a way that I had in my heart, and I never knew that.
I couldn't believe he did it, bro.
I couldn't believe it either. And like, I'm getting teary-eyed right now just thinking about that song, because the song is so powerful. And I'm like, see, and that's why I was like, when I think about us four coming together, it's like, yo, see, this is what I'm saying. See, us four really got a story to tell.
Yeah.
It's really something with us. And it's like, it's not just like the average artist. Like,
Yeah.
it's really a lot of pain behind all of us. It's really a lot of passion behind all of us.
Yeah.
And it's really a lot of, story that just people just don't know about us.
They don't know, and we really only scratched the surface.
Only scratched the
You know what I'm
surface.
saying? But
Right.
shout out Mel for really
Yeah, man.
getting
Shout
in
out
that
that,
bag.
man.
I never
Yeah, for
forget
sure.
when he dropped that project, Better Than Yesterday, and it was kind of like fall time.
Right.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, and I was going back and forth. I was commuting to work from Newport News to Richmond, and I remember playing that album, and it got to Real Parents. It's like I almost wanted to pull over on the side of the road because it was just so like, I was like, yo, for him to have the wherewithal and just the honesty to just bare his soul on that
the
track
transparency,
like that,
right.
it was just like, bruh. So
Right.
shout out to him, because that's been that was just so crazy that he did that.
That was powerful.
Yeah, for sure. So I know you mentioned the checkpoint briefly. Let's just kind of, what can people expect when it comes to, when you drop the checkpoint, and what can they be looking forward to?
I think on the checkpoint, quite naturally is Keith Wavy.
Yeah.
You're gonna get whatever you have been getting from me. But I think on the checkpoint, you're gonna see a bit of a pivot in terms of production. I think you're going to hear a lot more. I think you're going to hear more growth. I think you're going to hear more me talking more about where I am currently, but in a manner that people can kind of understand.
Okay.
Because sometimes I feel like people will look at me and say, like I like what he rap about and he's super cool, but I can't always connect because the lifestyle is so different. But I think on here, I got some tracks that people can really, really connect with, but without compromising who I am. Okay. And you're going to hear some music and you're going to be like, yo, I wonder what made him think this, get that sample, or I wonder what made him think, to rap like that. And so I think what you're going to get on the checkpoint is like, I think it's like the midway point. So it's like, we start with Cruise Control, which is just traditional Keith Wavy. Checkpoint's like the midway point. You start to see a little bit of a change in the production. You start to see a little bit of a change in, it's like, okay, we rounding this bend a little bit. And then when we get to We Love Wavy, I think that's where people are going to get the transparency from me that they're looking for. I think they're going to get that real root of what makes me me. And that's why I say We Love Wavy. It's going to be based in love. It's going to be based in, the people around me that really make me me, and from y'all to my wife, to my parents, to my team in Atlanta, and you're gonna hear my grandmother's influence on me. You're gonna hear some things that you haven't heard from me on We Love Wavy. So as we start to, like I said, on the checkpoint, I started the checkpoint, and first place come around that bend. That's like the first thing I say, and that's really what it is. It's like Cruise Control is the start, checkpoint you coming around, and then We Love Wavy is like when you win. And you hold that trophy up at the end. It's like, yeah, we love Wavy.
I like that.
Yeah, we love
You really
Wavy.
got all this planned out.
Yeah.
Really got all this planned out.
Sure.
Almost like a young Kanye when he had, college dropout, late registration.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You got it planned out.
Yeah, got it going.
For sure. Well, man, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Oh, for sure, man. For sure.
Anything else you want to hit on before we get up out of here, man?
Man, I think we touched on everything I wanted to get on, man. I just want to, realistically, I just want to say thank you to not only y'all for having me on here, but thank you for everybody that's tapping in, that keeps showing love, that keeps giving me opportunities. Shout out to the team. Yeah, like I said, Billy Vetti, Modern Stoner, SB, it's always fam. That's extended fam right there. So, but yeah, just thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to just come into your life. So for sure.
All right, well, it's been another episode of I May Get in Trouble for This. It's your boy T.Cooke. We out.